the destroyer. In front of the defense stands the player nobody talks about until he is missing. His job is not to create, it is to break. He shares that job with the ball winner who comes next, and both exist to stop attacks. But where the ball winner hunts the ball down, the destroyer makes the ball come to him. He is a wall, and he plays by reacting. He holds the space in front of the back four and rarely leaves it, reading where the attack wants to go and planting himself in its path. He blocks the passing lane, steps across the runner, and kills the move with a firm challenge or a cynical foul before it reaches the box. His weapons are positioning, timing, and physical presence, and on the ball, he keeps it simple. Win it, give it to a creator, hold the shape. He fits teams that defend their box and hold a tight, compact shape, where staying home and screening the defense is exactly the job. The risk is his lack of range. A quick combination or a runner breaking beyond him can bypass his zone, and he does not have the legs to chase what escapes. He is only as safe as the shape built around him. The great destroyers include Claude Makelele, Gennaro Gattuso, and Casemiro. The ball winner. Now the same job, played the opposite way. Like the destroyer, the ball winner exists to win the ball back, but he does not wait for it. He hunts it. He ranges across the middle third, pressing, closing, and chasing, winning possession through sheer activity. The interception, the tackle in transition, the loose ball nobody else reaches. He seems to be everywhere at once, driven by energy and a relentless engine. And because he so often wins the ball facing forward, he turns defense into attack in a single moment, a turnover high up the pitch becoming a chance before the opponent can reset. He fits teams that press hard and live on transitions, sides that want the ball won high and turned into an attack at once. The risk is the flip side of his aggression. Every time he leaves his position to hunt, he opens the space behind him, and if he commits to the tackle and misses, the gap he vacated becomes the opponent's route straight through midfield. The finest ball winners include Edgar Davids, N'Golo Kante, and Aurelien Tchouameni. The Deep-Lying Playmaker. Winning the ball is only half the job. Someone has to use it. The Deep-Lying Playmaker does not break up the game, he runs it. He and the Regista who follows work the same deep station, but where the Regista gambles on the killer pass, the Playmaker keeps the ball moving safely. He drops in front of the defense and asks for the ball in every phase, keeping possession ticking with clean, simple passes, speeding the game up when his team needs to attack, slowing it down when they need to breathe. He is always available, always facing forward, and almost never gives the ball away. His value is security as much as vision, the man who calms a frantic game. He fits possession teams that want to control the tempo and dominate the ball. The risk is a lack of penetration. If he only circulates and never dares the harder pass, possession can turn sideways and safe, dominant on the ball but blunt in front of goal. And because he is no natural defender, the man the whole rhythm runs through becomes the man the opponent hunts. The great deep-lying playmakers include Xabi Alonso, Frankie de Jong, and Hakan Çalhanoğlu. The Regista. Then the same deep position, played with far more ambition. Like the deep-lying playmaker, the Regista creates from the base, but where that role keeps possession safe, the Regista dares the pass that breaks lines. His weapon is range and vision from deep, the raking diagonal that switches the play, the vertical ball that splits a midfield, delivered from 40 yards behind the action while everyone else only circulates. He roams to get on the ball, dropping and drifting to find the angle no one else sees, and he plays the pass others would not risk, turning safe possession into a chance in a single moment. He is a deep-lying midfielder who creates like a number 10 from his own half. He fits teams built around a deep creative brain, sides willing to hand him the keys and cover the ground he leaves behind. The risk is the price of that ambition. The daring pass is also the intercepted one, and his roaming, without a destroyer's legs to recover, means he must be shielded, surrounded by runners to protect him and receivers brave enough to break for his passes. The great Registas include Andrea Pirlo, Xavi Hernandez, and Jorginho. The holding pivot. As the game sped up, one player was asked to do both jobs at once. The destroyer's protection and the playmaker's control fused into a single man. This is the modern holding pivot, the lone anchor at the base of midfield. Unlike the destroyer, the pivot does not simply hunt or block. He holds the space in front of the defense on his own, screening the back line, closing the central lanes, and reading the danger early so he rarely has to make a desperate tackle. Position, not aggression, is what keeps him in control. But his defining modern trait is what he does with possession. Where the destroyer just cleared the danger, the pivot starts the play. He drops between the center backs to take the first pass, turns out of pressure, and picks the ball that begins the build-up. He is the point the whole team rotates around, in and out of possession alike. This demands a rare combination. He needs the discipline to hold his position, the reading to protect the defense, and the composure to receive under pressure and beat the first line of the press. He is part destroyer, part deep playmaker, and all balance. The role only works inside a system built to support it. In a single pivot shape, everyone else pushes high, which leaves one man to guard the entire center of the pitch. The risk is exactly that isolation. If he is bypassed or dragged out of position, there is nothing behind him but the back line, and a single mistake in his zone becomes a clear chance on goal. The finest holding pivots include Sergio Busquets, Moises Caicedo, and João Neves. The deep build halfback. Some teams took the deepest midfielder one step further back, not to defend, but to build. When the opponent presses high, this player drops out of midfield entirely. The deep build halfback slots between or beside the center backs when his team has the ball. He turns a back two into a back three for the build-up, giving his team a spare man to beat the first wave of the press and a clean angle to carry the ball out of their own half. In possession, he stops being a midfielder at all. He becomes the deepest builder on the pitch. The purpose is control at the start of the move. By adding a body at the base, the team can always find a free man and play out calmly against even the most aggressive press, turning what should be a dangerous moment into the first pass of a settled attack. When the ball is safe, he steps back up into midfield as if he had never left. This demands the brain of a midfielder and the calm of a center back. He must read exactly when to drop and when to hold, be comfortable receiving with his back to goal and pressure closing in, and pick the right pass to break a press that is designed to trap him. He is, in effect, a midfielder who defends the build-up. The cost is a body taken out of midfield. Every time he drops, the center of the pitch is one man lighter, and the timing has to be perfect. If he goes too early, or the ball is lost while he is deep, his team is suddenly outnumbered in the middle, and the very press he dropped to beat now runs straight through the space he left. Midfielders who drop and build like this include Rodri, Ruben Neves, and Joshua Kimmich. The box-to-box midfielder. Now move up the pitch, into the engine room. Here is a player who refuses to specialize. Not destruction, not creation, but a little of everything, everywhere. The box-to-box midfielder covers the whole length of the pitch. He defends in front of his own box, then arrives in the other to finish the move, and he does it again and again for the full 90 minutes. Where others own one job, he owns the ground between both penalty areas. The job demands a complete game and an enormous engine. He needs the stamina to run from box to box without fading, the strength to win his duels, and enough quality to keep an attack alive. He tackles, he carries, he passes, and he chips in with goals. A genuine all-rounder in a role that punishes anyone who cannot do it all. His signature is the run into the box at the right moment. When the attack builds, he times his arrival to appear beyond the striker, turning up in the penalty area as an extra body the defense forgot to track. A midfielder ghosting in from deep is one of the hardest runs in football to mark. He suits teams that play with energy and want to attack in transition. In a midfield built on movement rather than pure control, he is the link that carries both the ball and the legs from one end to the other. The limitation is the one every all-rounder faces. He is very good at many things, but rarely the best at any single one, and the modern game increasingly asks its midfielders to specialize. Ask him to sit and control the tempo, or to be a pure creator, and the qualities that make him useful everywhere start to blur. Complete box-to-box midfielders include Patrick Vieira, Frank Lampard, and Paul Pogba. The Mezzala. In a midfield three, one of the central players drifts away from the center. Not backward to help the defense, but forward and wide, toward the touchline. This is the Mezzala, the half-winger of the modern midfield. Unlike a traditional central midfielder, the Mezzala attacks the half space, the channel between the middle of the pitch and the wing. He pushes high up the pitch on his side, combining with the winger and the fullback near the opponent's box, and arriving in dangerous areas a central midfielder rarely used to reach. His defining trait is the forward run into the final third. Where the deep playmaker breaks lines with a pass, the Mezzala breaks them by getting beyond the ball. He drives into the half space, plays a quick 1-2, and appears at the edge of the box, turning a midfielder into an extra attacker the defense has to account for. This demands an attacking, energetic profile. He needs the quality to combine in tight spaces near the box, the timing to run beyond the forwards, and the legs to get back when possession is lost. In many ways, he is part central midfielder, part winger, part second striker. The role only exists inside a midfield three with a holding player behind it. The anchor is what makes it possible, covering the central ground the Mezzala leaves when he pushes forward and wide. The risk is that exposure. If he is caught high when the ball turns over, the space he vacated in the center becomes a direct route through his midfield, which is why the Mezzala depends entirely on the balance behind him. Notable examples of the Mezzala role include Andres Iniesta, Luka Modric, and David Silva. The Carrilero. If the Mezzala's instinct is to push forward, his partner's is to hold the balance. For every midfielder who breaks toward the box, a team needs one who does not. This is the Carrilero, the shuttler who keeps the midfield honest. He works a single channel up and down the pitch. He supports the attack without overcommitting to it, then drops back into line to help the defense the moment possession is lost. Where the Mezzala gambles on the forward run, the Carrilero stays disciplined, the quiet man who makes the risky rolls around him possible. His value is not flair, but reliability and positional sense. He fills the space an attacking fullback leaves behind, covers when the Mezzala pushes on, and links the defense to the attack with simple, tidy passing. He is the glue that holds a busy, mobile midfield together. This demands intelligence more than star quality. The Carrilero must read exactly when to go and when to stay, knowing that his first duty is to keep the team's shape intact. He is happiest doing the work that keeps others out of trouble. He fits teams with attacking fullbacks and forward-running midfielders around him, a side that needs one player to guarantee the balance while the rest take risks. The cost of the role is recognition. His best games are the ones nobody notices, and the moment he neglects his channel and drifts out of shape, the structure he was trusted to protect begins to fall apart. The most reliable Carrilero include Ivan Rakitic, Saúl Ñíguez, and Rodrigo de Paul. The Segundo Volante. One more kind of central midfielder, and the most direct of them all. He starts deep, alongside the holder, but his eyes are always on the opposition box. The Segundo Volante begins as a second man at the base of midfield, sharing the defensive work and helping to screen the back line. Yet the moment his team wins the ball, his instinct is to go, surging forward from deep to attack the penalty area and finish the move he helped to start a few seconds earlier. His defining trait is the late run behind the strikers. He hangs back as the attack builds, unmarked and unnoticed, then bursts into the box at the last possible second, arriving on crosses and cutbacks like a striker breaking from midfield. A defense fixed on the forwards forgets him until the ball is already in the net. This demands a rare mix of qualities. He needs the discipline to defend as a deep midfielder, the engine to power forward again and again, and the composure to finish the chance when it falls to him at the end of his run. He is part holding midfielder, part goal threat. He fits teams that want an extra runner without sacrificing their defensive base, usually paired with a more static holder who stays behind to cover. The risk is timing and balance. Every surge forward leaves the base of midfield a man short, and if he gets the moment wrong, he is either caught offside at one end or missing from his post at the other. The best Segundo Volantes include Ramirez, Arturo Vidal, and Bruno Guimaraes. The Trequartista. Then, at the very top of midfield, the player the crowd came to watch, the one who does not defend and is forgiven for it. The Trequartista, also known as the classic number 10, he lives between the lines, in the space behind the striker or between the opponent's midfield and defense lines. He does not chase the game. He waits for it, drifting into pockets of space where he can receive, turn, and create. Everything the team builds is designed to reach him in that dangerous zone. His value is imagination and the final pass. He sees the opening no one else sees, sliding the ball through a defense with a single touch, or beating a man to carve out a chance from nothing. He is the team's creative heart, the player asked to unlock a tight game. The Trequartista takes the idea to its purest form. He is given complete freedom, released from defensive duty entirely, so that all of his energy is saved for the one moment that opens the game. In this version, the number 10 is a luxury the whole team is built to protect. He belonged to an era with more space between the lines. When midfield sat deeper and gave him room to operate, a team could build everything around a single creative mind and accept that he would not track back to help. But the modern game closed that space down. As pressing intensified and midfields pushed higher, the gap he lived in shrank. His lack of defensive work, once accepted, became a hole the opponent could attack, and the pure number 10, the free artist who only creates, nearly disappeared from the top level. The purest Trequartistas include Roberto Baggio, Zinedine Zidane, and Kaká. The Advanced Playmaker. The pure number 10 did not simply disappear. It evolved. Its creativity survived, but now it had to be earned with work off the ball. The Advanced Playmaker is the modern home of the team's imagination. He receives between the lines like the old number 10, dropping deep to collect the ball and pushing high to play the pass that opens a defense. He is still the man the team looks to when it needs a moment of quality. His value is the same creativity that defined the classic 10, the vision to see the killer pass and the technique to execute it under pressure. He roams across the front of midfield to find the ball, appearing in one pocket of space and then another, impossible for a single opponent to track for the full match. But the modern version comes with a condition. Freedom to create is granted only if he also contributes without the ball. He presses when possession is lost, tracks back into midfield when needed, and repays his creative license with genuine defensive effort. He is the artist who finally learned to work. He fits teams built to carry one free-roaming creator, a structure disciplined enough to cover the ground he leaves when he wanders. The trade-off is exactly that. His roaming pulls him out of position, and if the players around him do not compensate, the shape stretches and breaks. His freedom is real, but the team pays for it every time he uses it. The great advanced playmakers include Mesut Ozil, Kevin De Bruyne, and Florian Wirtz. The Wide Midfielder. Out on the flank, midfield has a tradition of its own. Not a winger and not a fullback. A wide man whose first job is to defend. The classic wide midfielder plays on the outside of a midfield four. He offers width going forward, but his instinct pulls him the other way, tracking the opposition fullback and winger all the way back to his own corner flag. In a two-bank shape, he is the flank's first line of defense, as much a defender out wide as an attacker. His value is work rate and discipline rather than trickery. He holds his position on the touchline, keeps the team's shape wide, delivers a cross when the chance is there, and does the unglamorous running that protects the fullback behind him. He is reliable, honest, and rarely beaten by a lack of effort. Physically, he lives on stamina. He runs the length of the flank in both directions, supporting the attack and then sprinting back to defend, without the pure pace or dribbling of a specialist winger. Solidity and consistency are what define his game. He suits teams that defend in two banks of four and value balance over flair, sides that want width without leaving the flank exposed behind it. The limitation shows in the modern, possession-heavy game. He offers less magic than a true winger and less overlap than an attacking fullback, and a team chasing goals through the wide areas can find him caught in between, neither the creator nor the outlet the system really wants. Classic wide midfielders of this mold include Ryan Giggs, Pavel Nedved, and David Beckham. The wide playmaker. But some teams ask the wide man to do more than defend and cross. They asked him to create. So the playmaker moved out of the center and onto the touchline. The wide playmaker starts in a wide position but drifts inside with the ball. He leaves the crowded center behind and picks up the ball near the flank, where there is more room to turn, look up, and pick a pass. From that angle, he becomes a second creative hub, dictating the play from a zone the opponent finds harder to close down. His value is vision and passing, not pace down the line. He comes inside into the half space to combine with the midfield and the striker, threading the ball through a defense from an unexpected position and turning a wide starting point into a platform for creation. He is a number 10 who simply begins his work out on the wing. This demands a specific kind of intelligence. He must know when to hold the width and when to come inside, read where the space will open as he drifts into the middle, and combine quickly once the game folds in around him. He thinks like a playmaker, but he lives on the flank. The cost is natural width. When he tucks inside to create, he gives up the touchline on his side, so the team must supply that width from elsewhere, usually an overlapping fullback. And if he drifts in while the fullback is caught high, the flank he abandoned becomes the very space the opponent attacks. Like every creative freedom, his is only as safe as the balance built around it. The finest wide playmakers include Angel Di Maria, Philippe Coutinho, and Riyad Mahrez.